Hello everybody, it's your girl Bria Van Kooten and welcome back to another video of Discussion the Show. We are back with another and just like that review. It is the end of the season. Yesterday was season 2 finale. I did a review for episode 1 and 2. I will link it up here in the card so you guys can check it out. But I was like, I'm not gonna sit through each episode like I did for season 1. Definitely go check out my season 1 review. I'll link it in the cards as well. But I was like, this season I'm gonna do episodes 1 and 2, and then at the end of the season I'm gonna come back and like go through the whole season and tell you guys what I thought about the season. So without further ado, let's get into the video. To be or not to be, not. If you guys watched season 2 of And Just Like That, definitely comment down below. Let me know what you think of season 2 and season 3. The show has just been renewed for season 3 last week or earlier this week. One of those things, but it was renewed for season 3. Basically, I'm just gonna be going through like the main points of each of the rest of the episodes. So episode 3, Carrie went in to go record chapter 3 of her new book, you know, her book about her being a widow and grieving, and she had a hard time with recording the chapter. It was very hard for her to record it, and later on in the episode we see her lie and say that she has COVID, so then she didn't have to go to the studio to record it because she just simply didn't want to. And then in this episode also, Seema's Birkin was stolen, but not in New York fashion, because to me, nobody would have gave back a Birkin. Like, because at the end of the episode, her Birkin was in front of her apartment in the bushes, and she found it in the bushes. There is no way nobody in New York City is taking a Birkin bag, taking out your wallet and your stuff, and then pushing the Birkin back underneath. Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta make it realistic. They would have sold the Birkin. It would have been on the Railroad. It would have been on Vestiaire Collective. It would have been on Fashion File. It would have been on Rebag. It would have been resold. If they didn't keep it for themselves, it would have been resold, because we know the value and the price of Birkin. There's no way in New York City somebody stole the Birkin and put it in the trees. I'm telling you that right now. But this episode was definitely reminiscent with that stealing part of when Carrie got her Fendi stolen with her Manolos. It's so funny thing is, I literally pass that block where they filmed that, where Carrie got robbed. I pass that multiple times a week. Like, I always pass that area, and every time I pass that area I'm like, oh my god, that's where Carrie got mugged. So for episode 4, Miranda is back in New York City. She's back. Brady just got broken up with in Europe, and yeah, he called Miranda crying. Miranda ran back to New York. Brady's back in New York, and she's home. We see Steve in this episode. He's like, what's that thing? Oh my god, when you're like, I forgot what the thing is called, but he's like boxing. You hear the noise and you come in, and then I was like, okay, body, come on, it's the body, David, okay? And then in this episode we see my girl Enid Finch come back. I was like, ah, yes, Enid. So Enid tried to get Carrie to write for her new magazine. Forgot the name right now, forgot the name. But it is for older women getting older, and Carrie is offended because Enid put her and Carrie in the same like age bracket. Episode 5, we have the Halloween party. Then we have Rock getting chosen for the Ralph Lauren shoe, and Harry thinking that is a scam. That was funny, because Harry's character is his character always been so quirky and funny to me, even in Sex and the City, like when he first came on. So his character is hilarious, and him thinking that it was a scam and some type of like setup and some type of like weird shit going on, it was funny. The main point of this episode was Carrie being in the bike lane and this guy almost running into her, but he ends up falling off the bike and then hurting his arm. Now Carrie takes him to urgent care. She thinks he doesn't have any money, so now she's trying to offer him money, and then they end up semi kind of dating, because Carrie goes to the apartment, helps him type, but then he has this like worker relationship with his business partner, but it gives very much like wife, husband type of vibes. And then at the end of the episode, Carrie ends up leaving. They almost was about to have sex, and Carrie ends up leaving because his business partner calls because he forgot to do something, and he's mad. The business partner is mad because he's with Carrie. It's a whole mix-up, but you know, in true Carrie Bradshaw form, she gets herself in these situations where she really don't have to. Like, she really don't have to. Like, I understand you want to make sure he's okay, but you have to go to urgent care with him, and then you had to show up with food and lunch and like all this stuff. Is like, girl, you don't even have to get yourself in all of this. Like, if you wanted to give a check, you write a check, make sure he's okay, and then like move on. Like, she be getting herself in these situations, but it's true Carrie Bradshaw form. So episode 6, we have WidowCon, which I was like, yo, not the meetup for sadness. In this episode, one of the big things was Lily losing her virginity and her being like open and okay with telling her parents that. Like, that was a big thing. I was like, okay, I love to see it. Like, yes, I'm sure some parents would be like, oh my god, like, this is too much information, blah blah blah. But I think that is a good thing that she is okay and open to sharing that information with her parents. So she shared it. Later on, we see Charlotte going out to get her some condoms, which Twitter was in a big uproar because they was like how Charlotte's kids are very spoiled and kind of snobbish and kind of rude. But Charlotte, you know, she goes out of her way to make sure that they are okay, you know, in true parent form. But her going out, like, because everybody was like, which I agree with too, because she was kind of snobbish and rude, but then she couldn't go out and get her own condoms. I'm talking about Lily. She couldn't go out to get her own condoms. She had to call her mother to go help her. And, you know, of course, Charlotte, being the mom that she is, and her wanting to be a mother for so long. Like, we watch in Sex and the City, we watch the journey of her wanting to be a wife and a mother and do this. So, of course, in true Charlotte form, she went out in a snowstorm, mind you, to go get Lily some condoms. So in this episode, we find out that my boy Steve has been having sex with a Whole Foods girl, and I was like, yes, Steve, yes. So happy for him. Like, Steve is my boy. Like, I like Steve since Sex and the City. Like, his character is just very sweet and warm-hearted to me. I really, really like Steve. And to see that what they made Miranda do to him, I didn't like it. Like, I really didn't like it. Like, I wish they had like an amicable breakup and not like this messiness, because Steve is so sweet. Like, I really like his character. Even though, yes, he cheated on Miranda in the first movie. Besides that, because that I was like, damn, Steve. But other than that, Steve is probably one of my favorite guys throughout Sex and the City, like, hands down. So when I found out he was with the Whole Foods girl, I was like, yes, come on, yes, Steve, as you should, as you should. And then Miranda is jealous, she's mad, and I'm like, girl, you have no right to be mad about this. Like, you have really no right. And Steve read her down. And then in the end of the episode, Carrie reaches out to Aiden. We saw her draft up the email throughout the episode, and then she finally sent the email at the end, and which leads into episode 7, which it is Valentine's Day, and Aiden reaches back out to her in the beginning of the episode, and they have dinner at the end. And Aiden does not want to come up. He figures out, he walks Carrie home. He figures out she's still living in the same apartment. He's like, you're still living here? Oh no, I can't come. He makes this big deal of he can't come up to the apartment because it's too much for him. It's still heartache for him, and he can't come up to the apartment. So they end up going to a hotel room, and we see them in different hotel rooms for like the next 2 episodes. And yeah, Aiden is back at this point. Aiden is back. And, you know, the fans have been waiting. We knew Aiden was going to be in the season, and we knew Samantha was going to be on the season. So we've been anticipating. Well, we knew Samantha was going to come on the last episode. We didn't know what episode Aiden was going to come on. So we were anticipating when Aiden was going to show up and come into the episode. I really wish they kept it as a surprise. Like, both Aiden's pop-up and Samantha's pop-up. I really wish. But in this day and age of social media, everything is just out in the open, and I hate that. Like, I really, really hate it, because it would have been so fire for both scenes to just be a surprise and like everybody just go crazy. So we get to episode 8, and Carrie is questioning whether Big was a mistake. She now is in this love bubble with Aiden, and she's like, was it a mistake for me to be with Big? And she's questioning her whole existence with Big, which I'm like, babe, this is not the time. This is not the time, because we know you were in love with Big and you cheated on Aiden with him. He treated you bad. You still took him back. He left you at the altar. You still took him back. It was the back and forth. So it's like, now you're questioning if it was a mistake, you know. And then this episode is when Charlotte goes back to work, and she is trying to fit into this similar dress that she used to wear during the Sex and the City days when she was in the art world and a ballerina, when she had like this black dress with like the pink belt around it, which was super cute. And she basically, in this episode, she's having like body phobia of how her body used to be. She had like an old picture of her, and I connected it to Kristen Davis in real life because I watched the interview with her talking about like how the fans were saying about like body changes and how they got a little thicker, and then, you know, their face change and they're a little older and wrinkles and all this. So I connected that, and I like that they wrote that in the script because it was real life things that the cast was dealing with. Even with Sarah Jessica Parker, I saw an interview with her talking about her not getting a facelift and her waiting too late to get one, and they all talked about like aging and stuff. And of course, when Sex and the City first started, they were all in their 30s. So now they're in their 50s. So it's like, it's different. So they're older. So to see that, that's why I like the show, for that simple fact of us seeing women in this age group still dating and going through menopause and marriage and breakups and death, because that is what real life is. So that's one thing I like about the show, and I feel like there hasn't been a lot of shows that celebrate women in their 50s going into their 60s. Shows these days just focus on teens and 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, and then like after your 30 is like, that's it. We don't care about you anymore, which is nuts to me. So, because I feel like all women of all ages are beautiful and doing great and doing things in life, but I feel like that's the day and age of today. We're celebrating womanhood and women getting older and just getting better as they get older. So that's one thing I like about it, just like that. So in the next episode, episode 9, we find out that Carrie's gonna sell her apartment. Like I said, Aiden does not want to step foot in the apartment. Carrie makes the decision to decide to sell her apartment, and she's going to buy a townhouse for her and Aiden. Then we find out that Lisa is pregnant. She later has a miscarriage, and then also Anthony starts dating one of his hot fellas, which he was scared to do and scared to get into, but he ends up loosening it up and not having that hold and control and just letting go. So then we got into episode 10. This episode mentions Stanford, which rest in peace to Willie Garson. And I hated how they sent his character off. Like, I hate to say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but I really wish they killed his character off. Like, watching what they created his character to be, I was like, I don't know. I know they wanted to keep Stanford alive, which I love, but the way they wrote around it, I just didn't care for. Like, Stanford going to be a monk, I don't know. To me, watching that scene, it did not fit the mold. Like, I get keeping him alive, his character alive, but I don't know. I wasn't here for that storyline. Then in this episode, we see Andre Rashad invite Naya to his baby shower. Naya finds out that he's having a baby super quick with the same girl that was playing the guitar for him in the episode 2, and he's invited her to the baby shower. And I'm like, sir, no. Like, what do you mean you're inviting her to the baby shower? Like, that is, to me, that's disrespectful. Like, don't invite me to your baby shower. Like, what? Nah. Especially, like, obviously he wanted to have a baby real bad because that baby was fast, like literally fast, but nah. But then Naya ends up buying him like a gift just to like stick it to him, and here's the gift. So then we see Miranda, Aiden, and Carrie go to Chase stand-up show. Chase starts talking crazy about their ex, and of course the ex is Miranda, and of course Miranda gets mad. She leaves. Che leaves their set and then ends up going outside to follow Miranda. And then of course Twitter was like, if Samantha was in that audience, Samantha would have told Che off. Carrie is so quiet, da da da. But obviously we watched Sex and the City. We know Carrie has never been that to be confrontational. Like, she's very much gonna watch. Like, that's not her, in her character, to be like how Samantha is. Samantha's gonna tell you off and curse you out and stand up for you. But that's not Carrie Bradshaw. So for people to expect Carrie to be that, come on, you didn't watch Sex and the City. That was never her character. And then we see Charlotte get drunk, which I was living. Like, she went out with her coworkers because she was killing it at work. She sold a paint in the Sam Smith. They went out. She threw her phone in the pitcher of margaritas, and she came home drunk. Everybody's like, Harry and the kids like, where are you? She's like, she basically said, F all y'all. Like, I'm having a good time. I'm doing my thing. And Harry, you're gonna have to pick up some of the slack and do some of the things around the house that I have been doing and taking care of. And yeah, I loved it. I love to see it. And then leading into episode 11, that is how episode 11 started off, with Harry waking her up and Anthony being outside. Because at this point, Anthony is deciding if he wants to be a bottom for, damn, what's his name? I forgot the name of the hot fella guy that he's dating. But Anthony said he's always been a top, he's never been a bottom. So he's trying to figure out if he wants to lose his bottom virginity, which he came to Charlotte to talk about it. And Charlotte is still like, I'm not talking to nobody, Harry, you got this, basically. And in this episode, Carrie is preparing for her dinner party. She's having a dinner party to celebrate her moving out of the apartment, the Carrie Bradshaw apartment. She has sold the apartment to Lizette, her downstairs neighbor. So Lizette will now be living in the infamous flat, which it was sad to see. Like, her selling that apartment, I'm like, damn, it's the end of an era. Like, Carrie is really moving on. Very much the end of an era, but her new townhouse is beautiful. Like, I can't wait to see season 3 and how they like decorate it. Of course, I know the closet is about to be stunning, so I'm ready to see how they do the closet and all of that. But yeah, she's having a dinner party. She's preparing. The episode basically, like I said, continues from the previous episode because she's wearing the same outfit as she comes into her old apartment. And ring, ring, ring. Who is calling? Samantha Jones, honey. Samantha Jones is on the line. My girl is on here. And when I say, even though she was not in the same room with SJP, even though Kim wasn't in the same room with SJP, her energy and her vibe just took over and stole the whole scene. Like, just hearing her voice and just hearing her say her lines, it felt so good. Like, it felt so good to see her and just to hear her be a part of it. Like, I'm so sad. She said, yeah, this is it. I'm never coming back to this show. I'm so sad because I had hope that after this season 3 she was gonna pop in, like, but my girl said nah. But it was great to see her. And in true Samantha form, she was literally about to leave London, come to New York City for one night just to say goodbye to Carrie's apartment, and then head back to London in the morning. Like, true Samantha form, ride or die, always ride or die. And that's why I was like, when they wrote her from season 1, when they wrote the part where she like left and just flew to London, that's not Samantha. Like, Samantha's very much ride or die, a girl's girl, I'm here for you. So that part that they wrote, that I was like, nah, I don't believe. But of course they had to write something, because again, they didn't want to kill her off. But they had to write something to show that she's still here. But yeah, and then she brought up the Annabelle Bronstein. When I tell you, I screamed, because the Annabelle Bronstein episode, you know, when she had the girls, Annabelle Bronstein's card in the country club, and she was using it and had all the girls there. That was everything. And if you don't know, Kim is actually from the UK. So happy that Kim decided to make that appearance. My girl got a nice little coin for a 1 minute and 20-second cameo. I love it. Allegedly, she got paid $1 million for that little cameo. And I love to see it. Like, ooh, I'm gonna be on your screen for 1 minute and 20 seconds. Give me my million, okay? Love to see it. Love that for my girl. And I hope she changes her mind. Like, I still have hope, y'all. I still have hope. I want her to change her mind because, like I've been saying in all these Angels Like That videos, there's something that is missing. And the missing piece for me is Samantha. No matter how many characters, how many people they bring in, she will always feel like something is missing. In this episode, we see Miranda and Steve finally make amends. They're on good terms, which I was like, okay, I like that. And then she also make amends with Che later on in Carrie's dinner party. So she's on good terms with both of the exes that we see. And then finally, which I knew they were gonna do, bring fine ass Gary Jordan back for my girl Naya. I've been waiting for this. I was like, they have to bring him back. There's no way they're not bringing him back. And once they said there was a Michelin chef, I was like, it has to be him. He has to be the chef. I knew it. I called it. And when he popped up as a chef, I was like, yes, 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 yes. My girl, thank you. My girl is good. Because I ain't like seeing her sweat over Andre. Like, I was like, nah. You about to get somebody better and find them, girl. Okay? And the chef, honey, stop playing. When he popped up, oh, love to see it. And then he took her home. She was like, you know, I thought you said you lived in Harlem. He was like, yeah, but the best way to get to Harlem is through Brooklyn. I was like, oh, yes, okay. Took her home. Talking about if you got anything to eat in there. Yeah, because he about to eat her. Ooh, he ate that. Like, oh, love that, love that. It took too long to bring it, but I love that it was the finale. And I hope to see more of their character development together in season 3. And then the denouement, the ending of this episode, the climax, was Aiden and Carrie. Aiden broke up with Carrie. Yes, well, he put her on a pause. He put my girl on a pause like that, like a housewife on a pause from the season. Like, he put my girl on pause for 5 years until his son gets out of teenagehood. Okay? When I tell you I would have broke Aiden's fingers off, don't snap at me, okay? Because I was like, what? 5 years? Are you kidding me, Carrie? Are you kidding me? You already did 10 years chasing behind Big, and now you're gonna wait 5 years? At 56, 57? No. No, babes. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But then we saw at the end, her and Seema was in Greece, so I better not see my girl waiting. Like, if a new man coming, yeah. Don't play that, okay? Don't play that. I don't care. But in true Aiden form, like, knowing his character and how he is, he would, like, give up all of that for his son. Like, I see that for him. Like, his character and how he is something that's right on brand for Aiden, like, for sure. And then my last thing I want to point out, did y'all see SJP topless? Like, I had to rewind the scene. Because if you don't know anything about SJP, when Sex and the City was on, she signed something to make sure she's never, ever been topless on screen. And she specifically made that a thing, to not be topless. So the fact that I saw my girl topless this finale, I was like, I want to know how much they paid her. I know they paid her a cute coin for my girl to be topless. Because I was like, I know that's not what I'm seeing right now. I know. I literally rewound the scene. I had to rewind the scene because I was like, was y'all as shocked as I was? Because I was definitely shocked, all right? I was so shocked. Y'all, that is in Just Like That season 2. Overall, I would definitely say a couple of the episodes gave me the Sex and the City feels. I don't know if I'm the only one who felt that way. I saw a couple people on Twitter said they felt that way. Like I said, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. But definitely, I felt a little of the Sex and the City feels, especially seeing Samantha and a couple of, like, the jokes and things. It gave me that feel. Nothing will ever top Sex and the City for me. Of course, like, and Just Like That can't top Sex and the City for me ever. That is my show. But like I said, it definitely a little bit of it. Of course, there were some episodes and some parts in the episode that was like, and it was some parts where I definitely enjoyed. For season 3, I really hope the writers really get in their Sex and the City bag. Like, of course, I don't want it to be a replica of Sex and the City, but I want to have that same essence of the Sex and the City vibe, but just more grown up. So we'll see what season 3 is given. I'm sure we're gonna get that in 2024. So yeah. Stay tuned, y'all. But yes, y'all, comment down below. Like I said, let me know what y'all thought of season 2 of And Just Like That. Comment that down below. Of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more. Go check out my previous videos. Follow me on my social medias at Bria Van Kooten and at Discussion the Show. And of course, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, deuces.